You may have seen the latest trailer for Netflix original movie Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle pop up online, and you might be wondering, what on earth is this? Is this a sequel to Disney's 2016 movie already? Is the Jungle Book story undergoing a third remake only 2 years after Disney's and so soon before Warner Brothers' upcoming version? And possibly most perplexing, how does Netflix make or get exclusive distribution rights to such an expensive blockbuster? Please allow me to set the record straight with this edition of Explaining Disney. Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle certainly isn't a Disney production and has absolutely no connections to the 2016 Disney Jungle Book. The only connection that it does have is that it shares the same source material of Rudyard Kipling's 1894 novella, The Jungle Book. So yes, technically this is another adaptation of the classic tale, however it's not a third one. This is Warner's much delayed version with a brand new name and a brand new distribution platform. If you hadn't even heard of Warner's Jungle Book project, you might actually be surprised to learn that this movie was actually thrown into production much earlier than Disney's most recent live-action feature was, and was originally set for a theatrical release of October 2016. Warner Brothers announced their Jungle Book film way back in April 2012, and a year later, Disney announced theirs in July 2013. Warner's would soon announce that their movie would get an October 2016 release, and then that was soon followed by Disney's announcement that their movie would get an October 2015 release, undercutting Warner's release by an entire year. Warner's would even rename their movie Jungle Book Origins to avoid confusion between the two productions. In fact, many publications and film punters were quick to call out Disney's announcement as a knee-jerk reaction to Warner Brothers potentially profiting off a story that had served as the inspiration behind one of their most popular movies in the 1960s before they even got a chance to do so, especially at a time where they were ramping up their animation to live-action remakes. Of course, Warner's were well and truly in their rights to make such a film, with Kipling's original works well and truly in public domain. Disney don't own the rights to the Jungle Book story on the whole, simply the rights to their bright musical version of it and their version of the characters, all of which differ greatly to the stories and characters in Kipling's dark, mature text. In fact, the idea behind Warner's Jungle Book film was to finally provide audiences with a traditional adaptation of the text for the first time, using state-of-the-art animation and motion capture technologies spearheaded by motion capture guru Andy Serkis. It just so happens that Disney kind of went down the same route. Walt Disney's original animated version, the last animated film to be overseen by him, wasn't a very true adaptation of the source, and Walt even famously told his artists to disregard the book and not even read it when creating the film, even throwing away one artist's vision of the film because it was too close to the novella. With their new live-action version now announced, Disney, being the powerhouse that they are, went full steam ahead with their production and even managed to beat Warner Brothers to casting announcements in March of 2014. Warner's announcements would follow in August. Assuming that Warner's realized that they simply couldn't compete with the Disney version, they would soon announce that they would give their movie a little distance and instead release it in October of 2017. Only 1 month after this announcement, Disney, who we can only imagine became pleased that they now had a little extra breathing space, announced that they would now release their film in April of 2016, only 6 months before the original release date of Warner's film. Disney's Jungle Book would of course release in that April of 2016, well and truly beating out the project that Warner's had announced and commenced work on well before they had. The film was critically and commercially acclaimed and was so lucrative for the company that they would soon announce a sequel was in the works. It seemed that Disney had beat Warner's to the punch and taken the profits. Warner's production, which now could be easily perceived as a rip-off of Disney's film, was once again moved to a later release date, with an October 2018 release set only a month before Disney opened their film. After the opening of Disney's film, Warner's production trudged along, but it would seem that the studio was slowly losing faith in their movie, which Deadline would describe as, at this point, overbaked and over budget in a July 2018 article. In the same article, it was revealed that Warner's had even sold the film's distribution rights to Netflix to avoid Pan-like box office bomb headlines and save millions of dollars on having to promote the film. The movie, again assuming as a way to distance it from Disney's Jungle Book, was renamed Mowgli, and later Mowgli, Legend of the Jungle. And that brings us to where we are now. This is a very sad tale for Warners and their film, but these kinds of stories are really very common in Hollywood. I personally think that Mowgli looks pretty great, and I hope it does really well for Warners, Netflix, and Andy Serkis, whose passion project this movie has become for quite a few years now. But there is no doubt that general audiences will still remain confused over this movie for quite a while. Mowgli Legend of the Jungle debuts on Netflix on December 7, 2018, 2 years and 2 months after its originally planned date, and 2.5 years after Disney had released theirs. If this is your first time viewing one of my videos, you like what you've seen, you'd like to see more like this in the future, then please don't forget to hit that big old subscribe button up on your screen right now, and also hit that like button down below if you're feeling extra generous. Also, don't forget to check out my many social media accounts, and please consider supporting me over on Patreon. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a wonderful day.